Okay, so something about me. My name is David. I'm from Prague, from Czech Republic in Europe. I'm Google developer expert for Android, Google Play and Google Pay. My main job is leading Android development at Škoda Auto, the car manufacturer. Maybe you know Škoda cars. So I work for the companion app for the car, where you can control the car or see things from the car in the Android app. This code base is pretty new. We are 100% Jetpack Compose. We have clean architecture, and it's pretty large app. There is 9 teams working on it. I also have my own app, which you can find in Play Store. It's called Settle Up, and it's about group expenses. When you are with friends, you can enter who paid for what, and it calculates who owes who. So let's start with a bit of history. I work on Android apps for more than 10 years, and a lot of things have changed. So there is a clear trend that Google is unbundling things from the framework, from Android itself, and they move it to other libraries like Jetpack Compose, which you put into your app, and it's independent on the system, or they put some APIs into Google Play services, which they can update independently of the system. So in the past, I remember fragmentation was a big problem, that you have to wait for users to update to new versions of Android, but it's not much a problem anymore because of this unbundling. And when I was starting with Android, I was learning there are these 4 basic components which every app needs to have. It's activities, services, content providers, and broadcast receivers. So this was the basic stuff. But not anymore, actually. Most of these components have new APIs, which are replacements. So in the past, activities used to be that in your app you have many activities. For every screen you have activity, and this is not recommended anymore. Most modern apps have single activity, which is just an entrance into your app. And inside that activity, you switch either fragments, or if you use Jetpack Compose, you have composables and compose navigation. So this is how our app is designed. It works nice and much easier to deal than with activities. Services are also kind of deprecated. You can still use them for some use cases, like foreground service. But Google is trying to limit background work a lot because of battery and also privacy. So they have this new API called Work Manager, where you should do most of the background work, and it plays nicely with other apps and doesn't drain battery. In the past, content providers were a place where you should put your database data, and it was quite hard to work with them. There are still some use cases for content providers. For example, if you want to share data with other apps, but for your internal database, it doesn't make sense to use content providers. There's a nice library from Google called Room, which makes it much easier to work with database. And broadcast receivers, you can still use them, but again, for some privacy and battery reasons, they are limited much more in today's versions of Android, so you cannot listen too much. And kind of replacement is also Work Manager, where you can set up some triggers where your job will be triggered, and it will trigger maybe later, so it respects user battery. And one final component which Google is changing now is intents. Intents was really at the core of Android, how you communicate between activities, services, and all of this using intents. And even intents are changing. And this I will talk in this talk I will show you some changes in intents and how you can use it in your app. So first new API I will be talking about is called Photo Picker. It's for picking photos and also videos in your app. So previously, or like this still works, but it's not very nice, is this classic photo picker, which you can use if you fire an intent. And it looks like this. It's not very nice, it's not very user-friendly. And this is the code how you show this classic photo picker action get content, and you filter all the images. During this whole presentation, you don't need to take pictures of the slides or something. All the code is available on my GitHub on that URL. It's full working out with all these intents and all these new APIs, so you can more easily integrate it in your app. So this is the classic one. This is how you react to a result from the classic photo picker. Just on activity result, you will get the intent back, and you get the data which contains the URL of the selected image. And now let's move to the new photo picker. So it looks like this. It's like a bottom sheet on the bottom of the screen, and it looks much nicer. It has more features, nice previews. And it's now available for all versions of Android since 4.4, so basically for everything now. This is how it works. So it was added in Android 11. So if you are Android 11 or more, it's a native photo picker. But Google is backporting it also to older versions of Android in Google Play Services. So if you have Google Play Services, it's backported. And if you are not, if you have some Huawei or like Chinese phone without Google services, it still works. It fallbacks to the previous picker, so it will work for everyone. So how to add support for this photo picker? So it's in Android X.activity library. It's stable version now. And you should also add this XML code into your manifest, which will trigger downloading this component into the device for the backported version. This is how you listen for the selected image or video. So actually, on activity result API is deprecated, and there is a new API called this activity result. So this is how it works. You first create the big image property. In onCreate, you register, and when you get the URL back, you have the image. If it's null, that means that user didn't pick any image. And this API also supports multiple images. So if you don't use the big visual media, but you use multiple visual media, user can pick multiple images. In this example, 5 images maximum. And this is the code how you actually launch the picker. So on the previous listener, you start launch method, and here you can specify what user can pick. So it can be either images only, or videos only, or both. Or you can specify specific MIME type. In this example, it's GIF images. So that's all for the photo picker. I highly recommend using this instead of the old intent. let's move to another intent replacement or maybe enhancement, which is called share sheet. So share sheet is used in your app when you want to share some content from your app to other apps. Mostly it's used for links, it can be used for images as well. So this is the classic share sheet. If you just fire a basic intent, this is how it looks. It's quite straightforward, but it's not very user-friendly. The user cannot see what's being shared. In this case, it's some link, but the user doesn't know. It's quite also confusing. This just once and always what user can press. And if user presses always, then he doesn't know how to make it again, because it's like hidden in the Android settings. So I don't recommend using this one. But this is the code how you create this old one without any changes. So you create intent, action send, and you put text which contains the link which you want to share, type, explain, start activity. It's straightforward, but not very nice UI. And in this way, it's also hard to create custom share sheets. In the past, a lot of apps were using custom share sheets, which means they scanned all the apps on the device and they created their own UI for selecting the apps. Maybe they had some logic. And now it's hard because Android is limiting this with permissions. You cannot easily query the system for all the apps, and so you could have this information about all the apps. It's restricted because it was a security problem. So right now, from Android 11, you have to put into your manifest exactly the packages which you want to scan. So you need to like a list which apps you want to scan, but you cannot scan all of them, only these explicit ones. So that's why I don't recommend building share sheet, like custom share sheet anymore. But there are APIs which I will show you, which actually do a lot with the system share sheet. You can customize it a lot. So this is the new share sheet, how it looks on the right side. So you can see that on the top there is a preview of content. So user can see what's being shared actually. You can see the link. You can also add a title. You can also add an image to this preview. This image has to be local, not from the server. Below that, you can add some buttons. So I added call button, but it can be more like custom actions specific to your app. And below there's this like people. So it's like deep links into specific apps which are usually messengers. And you can control this. You can add more like custom things in these people, maybe something from your app. And you can also, and below there are like list of apps which will open, and you can control this list. You can add something custom. In this example, I added like my app, this new pickers, that's my app. So I added it there. And you can also remove some of it. If some apps doesn't make sense in the list, you can remove them. So this is actually still, this API is still bundled with Android. It's not like the photo picker, which is unbundled. This is bundled, and some features work only from some Android versions, but most of it work for many Android versions. So first feature, the content preview, is from Android 10, which is quite fine. Most of the people have Android 10 and more. This custom actions, that's quite new actually. That's available only from Android 14. And all the other are available even in the previous versions. So you can add the extra people, you can add extra apps, and you can remove some apps. Yeah, and there is also API which you can use to listen what people selected. Maybe you want to have some analytics, what people clicked to. Previously it was only possible with the custom share sheet, now there's API for it. So let me show you some code for all these features. First features is the preview of the content. So you just put more extras into the intent, like this title. So I'm sharing a link for GDG Bishkek, so I write the title there. This is how you can add and remove apps in the share sheet. So you can put extra, which is called extra initial intents, and you can write up to just one or two intents, which will show in the beginning, and they will open some apps you want. And you can also remove some of the apps. In this example, I'm removing Google Drive. Maybe my use case doesn't work for Google Drive. I want to remove it. So you can scan the you can see the app package name and also the activity name, and you can write it there. So this upload menu activity is from Google Drive, and you can put exclude components and it won't be there. This is API for the custom actions, and as I said, it's only available from Android 14, API 34. So you can create icons, like buttons with icon and text. In this example, there is a call button, and add the custom actions. And lastly, this is the API for listening what the user selected. So it's using broadcast receiver, which is on the top. You can get from the intent extra. You can get what the user selected, and you can see the package name and activity name of the selected component. Maybe it will be useful for some of your statistics, analytics, what people are using. Maybe you can use this information then to improve the share sheet in the future. If people are clicking on something which is in the back, you can put it on the front, so it's easier for the users to share it to that app. And the code below is how you register the broadcast receiver. It's pretty straightforward. All the code is in my GitHub. I'll show the link once more later. So let's summarize what we learned today. So Google is slowly replacing a lot of things in Android, even basic components like activities, services, and now they are also making changes in intents. Use this new photo picker. It works on all Android versions with or without Google services, and it's a much nicer UI, and you don't have to build photo picker in your app for yourself. This photo picker also supports videos. It also supports multiple images or videos. With the share sheet, there is no need to build a custom share sheet anymore, because the share sheet now supports the content preview, custom actions. You can add or remove apps or people. And there is API to know what people selected. And And all the code from today's presentation is on my GitHub at the link there. Wait a bit. I want to type the link or something. And we can move to questions. So first, let's do questions from the app, and later we can do maybe some live questions if you have them. So let's see the first question. Okay, I will read it. What do you think? The new method of delivering updates from Google doesn't limit development of open Android distributions and doesn't lose its dependence from ordinary kernel developers because we are becoming dependent on Google services. Okay, so my opinion is that Android was designed to be used with Google services. You can use it without, but I think it's subpar user experience. And Google is trying hard to like push these updates to all manufacturers. The only issue is with China, where you have to work with some alternative providers. Did I answer your question? So, when implementing a photo picker, what consideration should be taken into account regarding user permissions? Yeah, great question. Actually, photo picker is handling permissions for you. So you don't need to specify any permissions, and your app will get permissions only to the images which the user selects. So there is actually no permissions dialog. Just user will select some images and your app will get permission only to those images. You cannot get any other images. So it's also good for the user, like user knows what they share with you and not like the whole SD card. Another question? That's all? Okay. So do we have some more questions from the audience?
I have one. My name is Artyom. I am iOS developer and I'm trying to learn Kotlin multi-platform because it seems interesting for me. And question is, if we continue use old intents approach, will Google block our application during the publishing?
So answer is no. Old intents still work and they are perfectly fine. Like Google is not removing this API; they are just adding new stuff which has better user experience. So old way works, but new way is better. Any more questions?
Друзья, у кого-нибудь есть вопросы? Поднимаем руки, я подойду.
I have new one. What about working under hood? Do you know what approach this new picker is used, intents or another one?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Do you know how new picker works? Is it use old intent approach?
So, in the native, on like Android 11, it works like with intents, it's built into Android system, but in the old version, it's distributed via Google-based services. So it's more like an API inside the Google-based services. But for you as a developer, you don't care, you just use the same API. Last question, maybe?
fun. Every about 4 years, Android have tendency with rewriting itself. And how long do you think this development will be enough? Maybe this question.
You mean how long these new APIs until they are replaced with something else? Okay. So I think like 2 years. in my opinion, like every 2 years, Android development completely changes. Like with Jetpack Compose, for example, or Kotlin before, like not everything changes, like but really significant part. But I think this is normal in front-end development. I think in JavaScript, this is even faster, like new libraries are appearing, so Android every 2 years, that's good. Okay.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. Just a brief question. I wanted to ask you about what you thought the trend was moving towards and whether or not you'll see a major change in user experience in the future because of AI concepts.
Okay. So the trend, I already said that it's unbundling from the system itself and like into independent libraries. But from the user's point of view, I see a lot of getting closer to iOS actually. Like Android is taking stuff from iOS and vice versa. Apple is also taking stuff from Android. So these operating systems are getting closer together. I see also a trend about privacy and security. In the past, Android was very open. You could do anything, and this was misused by some malicious apps. So Google is actually closing some of the APIs, limiting them, adding new permissions. Like example was you cannot scan all the apps installed except of yours. So these are the trends.
Just a follow-up question. I understand that iOS now sort of leads the market in terms of user experience. I was wondering if it's possible in the future for some sort of platform to emerge that could supersede their, let's say, monopoly over the market.
I think that's up to debate who is leading user experience. But I don't see a new platform coming. It's because there needs to be some competition. What I see is more push towards like Kotlin multi-platform and this multi-platform frameworks where you could build most of the app in just one code base and you can build it both for iOS and Android. Can we see a last slide after the question? One more slide. No, after the questions, there is one more slide. Maybe you refresh the presentation. Can you refresh, maybe, because I edited it in last hour, so.
Может, сейчас уже есть вопросы? Any question now? One more question today.
Great.
You said about Chinese market, and what is your approach? Like, you're separating it, or you're just checking if Google services existing in there, or you're just avoiding Chinese?
So in most of the apps I was working on, we were avoiding China because it's a like significant effort to support China. In my startup, we just like a small team, and supporting China will be a lot of effort. And in Škoda, Škoda actually doesn't sell cars in China, so that's why we don't have to deal with it. But in one of the projects we were supporting China as well, so we have to use we use the Huawei services as a replacement for some of the Google services, and we had a different APK for China.
Oh yeah, I can see now. But still, maybe in Skoda there is some users who came from China or just bought Huawei, and these users will be like, you have to buy other phone.
That's true. It's a business decision, not my decision, but it's a significant effort to support China. So you need to have a strong business use case to invest in it. Fine. So I have a teaser for a workshop today. It will be at 4:40 p.m. In the room in the 4th floor, 425. It's a workshop about Jetpack Compose and state management. If you never use Jetpack Compose, or if you are just starting with Jetpack Compose, I highly recommend this workshop. I think state management is the most important thing in Compose. Like, if you understand state management, you are fine. In Jetpack Compose, this is the hardest thing. It's like you need to think a little differently about building UI than with Android views. And so come to the workshop. It will be on your laptop, so bring your laptop. And you will go through the workshop in your own pace. It's like a code lab from Google. And I will be there for, if you get stuck, I can help you unstuck so you can finish the code lab quicker. Thank you.
Today we will be talking about camera X and machine learning. By the end of this session, 34 million people will use their Android camera. It's a stranger static and highlights the scope, the potential impact of your work. As a camera experience app developer, what's more, camera is the top factor driving both initial purchase and ongoing satisfaction with the device. As a result, bringing a high quantity experience to your user is very important. In this talk, we'll focus on 3 paths. First, we'll discuss how to create polished camera preview built on top of Camera 2 and Camera X. Next, we'll discuss how to make AI easier and faster with machine learning kits and on-device machine learning. Then, we'll end with an overview of how does AI camera enable business. allow me to introduce myself. My name is Li Yunpeng, a Google developer expert. You can call me Leo. I come from China. In my spare time, I'm involved in the construction of public welfare literature. In 2008, when I was in junior high school, I founded imuxuan.com, which I have been running ever since. This was also around time I entered the internet in industry. CameraX is a JPEG library built to help make camera app development easier. It provides a constant, easy-to-use API, works across the vast majority of Android devices, with backward compatibility to Android 5. Here is a simple code for using CameraX. This code can help you remember how easy it is to use CameraX. Next up, let's talk about how to build high-quantity camera experience. The camera preview is often the very first interaction your user gets with the camera in your app. And there are a number of common preview problems. A destroyed preview can instantly make an app feel broken and less clean. So, CameraX has video stabilization since Android 5, and now on devices, you can set video stabilization to preview stabilization to that the final recording matches what was showing in the camera preview. If stabilization is related to the video but not to the preview, which is the case when video stabilization is simply set to on, then the preview isn't necessarily showing what is being recorded, since the device needs to crop into the frame to perform stabilizations on the video stream. To use preview stabilizations within Camera 2, first, get a list of available video stabilizations models. Then, if that list contains preview stabilizations, set the video stabilizations model accordingly on the capture request builder. The camera app code looks very similar, but instead of a capture request builder, we have a camera object from the call to back to lifecycle. Just like in the last example, first get the available video stabilizations modes from the camera to camera info object. Then, if preview stabilizations is available, use a camera to camera control object to set the underlying camera to capture request option, like so. Android JPEGs contains camera preview classes. The two JPEG preview classes can help your camera app deal with screens of all shapes and sizes. For camera app, you can use the preview class. For Camera 2, the class you can use is Camera Viewfinder. These classes can be configured so that your preview will display properly no matter what screen is on. Dealing with every different screen size can be tricky. If the camera screen is spatial ratio differs from previous spatial ratio, namely putting the image on the screen will lead to stretching. You have to make a decision to crop some of the image or show bars on one dimension of the preview. Both JPEG preview classes give you 6 scale types for properly display a preview. The default value for both camera viewport and the preview is field center. In camera, the code to set up a preview is really minimal. First, get a reference to your view layout's preview. Then, create a lifecycle camera controller and bound it to your activities lifecycle. Then, set the controller on the preview, and you are done. Camera X also provides advanced preview functionality on top of the basic. For example, using the built-in machine learning kit integration, you can run each frame through a machine learning kit model, and Camera X will map the frames combinations to your preview combinations automatically. And newly added in API, you can run graphic library effects on your preview. And the same effects can be applied to photos and videos to give your users the consistent experience they expect. Now, let's see how this is done with Camera Viewfinder in a Camera Tool app. First, create a Camera Viewfinder passing in a context. Then, call request surface sync and save a reference to a surface listenable feature. Then, announce the size function of the surface listenable feature. You create a camera capture session like a typical Camera Tool app. But instead of providing a texture view or surface view as target surface, you use the resulting Camera Viewfinder surface. Let's talk about achieving premium visual quantity in Camera 2 and Camera X. Android 13 introduced HDR high dynamic range video capture, which provides higher contrast and more colors to encoded video. Your camera capture will be able to produce much brighter videos and more subtle color compared to SDR. And with HDR video captures comes 10-bit color capture as well, which enables you to capture a little over 1 billion colors instead of just shy of 70 million. This should make colors in videos smoother and more consistent and avoid the dread bonding that can occur when some shifts in colors are responded incorrectly. You can use a function like this to check if the device supports 10-bit output. Using the Camera Manager, call the get camera capture function with the key request valuable capital bits. From there, we can check if the key requires a valuable calculated dynamic range 10 bits exists in that camera's calculators. To check which dynamic range prevails are supported, we can use a function like this that uses the camera manager to query for request available dynamic range profiles. From there, you can check, for instance, if HDR10 Plus is supported. Note that we are requiring that all 10 bits outputs capable devices are required to support HLG10 to ensure consistency across devices. Other formats are at the discretion of the video manufacturer. With that done, we'll set up each output configurations with a selected dynamic range profile. For instance, here we set each configuration's dynamic range profile to HDR10 Plus. The last thing is to set up medium formats for HDR encoding. Use the format set integer function to set the color parameters. Great! That's how you get HDR video running in your app. We can do many things with Camera X, such image searching through the combination of machine learning. Machine learning case brings Google's machine learning expertise to mobile developers in a powerful and easy-to-use package. Since launching in 2018, machine learning kit has been growing rapidly. Combining Android and iOS, its usage has more than doubled since last year to over 1 billion monthly active users and 80,000 monthly active apps. Machine learning case has many APIs for both vision and text to help mobile developers solve common use cases like image labeling, object detection, pose detection. All of it running completed on device with models optimized for running with restricted results like a phone. Machine learning kit has also made many improvements in performance optimization recently. This is pose detection. Machine learning kit pushes the limits of performance through hardware acceleration. This is text recognition. In addition to Latin script, machine learning kit added support for Chinese, Japanese, and Korean scripts, and it improves latency by 30% on Android devices. Text recognition version 2 can now cover 37 languages, respectively over 4 billion people worldwide. Using this API, apps can request that Google scans barcode, QR code, and other codes on their behalf and returns the result without needing to request camera permission or process the image within the app. Google offers a range of solutions to use on-device machine learning to unlock new experience in your app. On-device machine learning has some unquestioned benefits over server-based machine learning, such as low latency, keep data on device, works offline. Many of the latest features on Pixel 6 are enabled with on-device machine learning. For example, Magic Eraser in Google Photos helps keep the focus on the things you care about. Using segmentation models, it identifies distractions like a combination photo bomb and allows you to remove them from the image. Another great example is Pixel 6 Direct My Call. When you call a business, it can help you transcribe the call in real time and present you with the call menu option, saving you the hassle of remembering which option to press. This feature all run on device. If you want to benefit from on-device machine learning in your own Android apps, there are two great options. Machine Learning Kit is a great start point, but it provides ready-made solutions with simple APIs with machine learning power feature like real-time pose detection, offline translation, all optimized to run on mobile devices. The best part is you don't need any machine learning expertise to use Machine Learning Kit. If you do have machine learning experience and either your use case isn't covered by Machine Learning Kit, or need more control over the experience, you can go custom. Let's start with Machine Learning Kit. Let's take a look at this picture and check whether this photo is of a bird. Machine learning will do the same task with APIs for mobile, web, and by-hand developers. So, there is something for everyone. Let's go. This is where Machine Learning Kit comes into play. Machine learning. Machine learning is a mobile SDK that brings Google's on-device machine learning expertise to Android and iOS developers. The API is simple and gives you the basic to start using machine learning on your apps. You don't need to know anything about machine learning or do any pre or post processing of the results. The APIs all run completely on device, allowing for real-time use case. Let's solve the word recognition problem we mentioned earlier. Here is the code we could use. You load a bitmap, create a label which is in size. Behind the person is loading a model with the default options. Next step is running the inference on the image with the process method. Machine learning APIs has the callback pattern, and you will get your results simply on the unsuccess listener. For our bird image, I got a 98% confidence for the bird label. which is great. I also get 88% confidence that image contains wings, which also makes sense. But if what I want to recognize, which word is it? Are there more specific models available? Machine learning models are in essence a set of transmissions applied to an input that by the end gives you a value that you can interact. For example, a picture has a bird in it. This set of transmissions are called models. They are like a very long math equation. TensorFlow has a specific SDK called TensorFlow Lite that allows you to run TensorFlow models on device. These models are converted to TensorFlow Lite formats, and when doing so, opportunity for our machine learning is crucial. By combining camera X and machine learning, we can better empower business value. For example, on Alibaba, in the image search section, using machine learning object detection, it can better help users to select objects they want to search in a dozen desktop. Once the subject is identified, the object features derived from it can be used to find similar product information in the product pool. Machine learning also supports multi-object detection, which can help us quickly switch to search for other objects in a session. This feature allows users to find new similar product information without having to resubmit a request. The architecture diagram you are currently seeing is that of Alibaba image search. The capital page is primarily an image input source, including 2 image inputs, a bone sheet, and a camera capture. It can also accept intent information from sharing. The result page is mainly used to send image search requests, display the returned results, perform second-row image cropping in the selection area, and select products and find products. The front-end and back-end processing chain of image search is relatively long. In the front end, it includes image processing and uploading to OSS. And in the back end, it involves category prediction, object detection, and feature instruction. The product pool has offline processing, feature extraction, and cluster marking. By using on-device machine learning modes, we reduce the latency of our requests by 700 milliseconds. With faster and more accurate identification, our users were able to find products more efficiently and accessibly, which leads to 300% increase in our buyer. This is our image search user growth curve. As you can see, the growth is impacted rapid. This is our image search barrier growth. Its growth is even more rapid, which indicates that our barrier conversation has also improved. Read is a content platform on Android's app, on Alibaba Android's app. It aims to help buyers discover business opportunities. Images are essential for content performance. Reads also have a lot of images. The successful practice of image search, as well as the truth of machine learning and camera-like, have enabled us to apply image search functionality in different business sessions. By long processing an image, we can implement image search in the read session with just one root jump. Users can immediately see the similar products they are looking for. We appreciate the contribution of machine learning and camera-like to developers and business. It was my pleasure to share with each of you who are interested in development here. Thank you.
Thank you, back. It was very interesting. This applause for you. Я хочу напомнить, что у нас есть подарки от партнеров. Как получить? Вам просто нужно задать вопросы. Первые 3 получают подарки. У нас есть человек. Можете подойти?
Are all the Google products using this technology now? Or only Alibaba?
There has online API to use their technology. No, not a book.
Так, у кого-то есть еще вопросы? Простите.
Hello everybody. Hello there. Thank you for your speech. That was really interesting. Something was well known, but there were new facts and they are very useful. Полина Сабирова, Slice of Community, если будет интересно, мы в зале. So the question is as following. You have told about cross using while learning kids, but there are also words. What are they?
There are also, sorry.
Cross and words. Big sides of using mobile learning.
Minus.
Sorry.
Minus. Negative.
What's
Negative sides of using.
Each problem has pros and cons.
Minus.
So to say pros are pluses, positive sides of using mobile learning kids, and there are negative sides, yes?
I don't know
Maybe
what
some
about.
difficulties for developers.
Maybe there is some business. Maybe there is some business agreement in machine learning. So I don't know what.
So there are no cons in this technology. Thank you, Dale.
Спасибо большое. И вот третий человек.
Thank you so much for coming to Kyrgyzstan, even though it's so long. So my question is, how much time did it take to make this framework? Camera, how much time?
How much time make
The
what?
framework. Framework.
Framework.
To build this framework.
Oh. Framework.
The camera.
Your framework is see my space. How many times? Is
To make this framework. Camera X.
The app, how many times it took to build this app for camera?
We use AI. We only use their Google's API. We don't develop cameras.
У кого-нибудь еще есть вопросы? Секунду. Да, спасибо большое. Hello, thank you for your presentation. I have a question. As I know, you have iOS application, Alibaba, as it has in Android. So, what technology do you use in iOS? You covered only Android.
Flutter and Java backend development.
For AI.
For AI only machine learning.
Native libraries, right?
Native Flutter and Object-C.
Okay. I got you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Пока я не ушел, может, сверху тоже вопросы и выводы имеются. Hello, thank you for your presentation. You said that in iOS you use different models, and if you compare Android performance and iOS performance in one of these classes, which performs better, Android or iOS ML models? So ML kit or iOS
Machine learning kit is also useful for iOS platform.
It's the same.
Yes.
But so Google developed both for Android and iOS.
Oh yes.
Thank you. Может, у кого еще вопросы остались? Все классно. Thank you, Юпен.